Coming up on Auburn Gymnastics 360, highlights of the Baton Rouge Regional, we catch up with Bree Guy, and a look back at the 2014 season. War Eagle and welcome to Auburn Gymnastics 360. I'm Carly McCall. Unfortunately, the Tigers' season came to an end in Baton Rouge as the team failed to qualify for a spot in the NCAA championship. Here are the highlights from the regional meet at LSU.
We weren't fooling ourselves into thinking it was a three-team race. We knew it was a six-team race there, and everybody had to be on their game. And it felt like, for the most part, the girls handled it pretty well. I mean, we obviously had the hiccups on bars, but other than that, I thought we had a pretty good meet.
Just been trying to work on the landings a lot more recently, so I feel like just paying more attention to it in practice, it's a lot easier to pull over to competition.
I thought my vault actually went pretty well. Going into the run and getting off the table, I felt like it was a good one, and then I landed it and it just felt really good.
You just kind of learn to keep warm, to keep moving, and then when you're on the buys, like, you learn when to, like, we have applesauce and we have Gatorade chews, and we have different forms of, like, energy to, like, keep us going and keep us energized through the meet.
We started out a little rough on bars, but just tried to bring it back together with what I know how to do. This year's been pretty consistent for me on bars, so just try to get up and know exactly what I know how to do and what I've been practicing.
I've always been trying to think, the past few meets especially, about the little things, and I'm like, okay, just pointed toes and knees straight, and just like, come on, you just gotta do another set, and it goes head and shoulders, and it's like knees and toes, and so it just kind of calmed me down a little bit, just took it one skill at a time.
The best thing that you can do is just put it behind you, which is pretty much what I did. But I'm not really holding on to anything. You just have to learn to let everything go that happened in the past and focus on one event at a time. And we practiced that in the gym a lot, so it was really just like practice leading over to competition.
Her role on beam and floor is one of the most important roles you can have, is that's the leadoff person. And she needs to go up, do a good job, settle down, manage the pressure real well, and at the same time get a really good score.
Everybody did. Beam team showed up, and you know, it may not have been enough, but it definitely showed what kind of a group we are.
After bars and the mistakes I made, I went to beam knowing that I could do beam, and I kind of took out my frustration that I had from bars on beam, and I just focused on what I could do.
We've been doing those crazy dancers on beam where everybody's yelling at you, trying to distract you, making you mad, so you show off every little bit of your routine, and we needed to show that regardless of what happened on bars.
That was probably my best full routine that I've done this season, in all honesty. There's always like at least one little thing I can think of after every routine that I've messed up on. But this routine, when looking back at it, I can't actually pinpoint one thing in particular that I wish I had done better. I felt like I had put out my best routine that I could have done, and I feel like the score reflected that.
It's been a long season, and floor is one of the most demanding events, and we just come off of a bye. It's just hard to keep your energy up, so you have to go out there and just practice what you've been doing and try to keep it going throughout the whole routine.
It's definitely the best floor routine I've done. All of my passes felt like they landed really well. I showed it off really well. I actually smiled, which isn't something I typically do during my routine because it's kind of awkward music. Like, are you supposed to be serious or are you supposed to smile?
So in the end, I have to go back and look at what they did well and what we need to work on. I thought they really did a good job on 3 events. You know, we made a mistake or two on bars and it put us behind the 8 ball, but it really didn't determine the outcome of the meet in the end. It really didn't determine whether they're going to nationals or not, because we just had to learn to fight this year, and unfortunately for us, we made a couple mistakes in this meet, but I was absolutely excited about the fact that they kept fighting.
In the 2 months since Bree Guy suffered her season-ending injury, she has gained a new perspective on the sport.
You're more observant. You get a new perspective on everything. Like SEC is watching the later session, and you can just see, like, when you're not competing and you're watching them and you're not worried about how the judges are scoring and you're watching their gymnastics, you're just kind of like, I see what they have. Like, you can see the attitude that they're bringing to their gymnastics, and then coming back in the gym and watching us, you're just kind of like, well, now I know what we need to do. How do I get this across to them? I was having a talk at dinner with Jeff and Jenny and Kurt, and I'm just kind of like, I just had to say, like, I don't know how you guys do it.
She immediately started to show the fight that we needed to see from her and this team needed to see from her. But I think above and beyond that, we took her with us on the road because she is a leader, and we needed that to be a part of this team. So, you know, we had to give her that first 3 or 4 weeks where she could get herself healthy enough to travel, but as soon as she was capable of going, we brought her back, and she became sort of a little bit of a, you know, surrogate student coach to a certain extent. She was really good for the team, and in the end, I think it helped her as well, because she's still struggling with, you know, coming back from a pretty significant injury. So she needed to be distracted with it a little bit and have a different role.
I think the leadership role changed a little bit because at the beginning of the season, I was leading by how I did my gymnastics, how I handled my situations and stuff, and then after February 14th, it changed in how I carried myself after the injury and how I kept my head up or kept a good attitude when I really didn't want to be in the gym, and kept cheering them on and still doing what little I could do with, like, weight training and cardio and stuff, and just keeping up with it. So I guess I had to switch the leadership role, as in, like, going from showing them what it's like to be a leader through gymnastics and showing them what it's like to be a leader on the sidelines when you're injured and still having to keep up with them. Bringing me on the way to travel meets, getting handicap rooms so that I can have whatever accessible that I need, and them doing whatever they can to help me. It's been eye-opening. It's been extremely, I'm so appreciative. I couldn't ask for a better team, coaches, support staff.
After a season of ups and downs, the team was able to fight through adversity and appreciate the good times.
My favorite moment from this year was the Alabama meet, when I ran out of the tunnel and everyone, the entire crowd, the noise, the atmosphere. That was my favorite part of the season.
I think my favorite meet of the year was the Mizzou meet, because we did go 197 for the second time, which was really great, but it wasn't even a momentum kind of thing. It wasn't like we were competing against our arch rival. It was, we went out there, we did good gymnastics, start to finish, and we ended up with a score that could be easily recognized across the country.
My favorite moment of the season was when we traveled to Arkansas and beat them for the first time in their home arena. It was an exciting meet. Everyone was on their game that night, 24 for 24, and we came out with a win.
I'd say my most memorable experience was senior night when Nikki got to do her bar routine. She worked so hard in the gym. She had so much dedication, and there's probably not a single person on our team that loves the sport of gymnastics as much as her. So getting to see her compete, she was so happy. She could have missed every single skill in her bar routine, and she would have still had the hugest smile plastered on her face of anybody on the team that night.
I think I have two just really awesome moments. One of them, okay, we'll start with Nikki and her senior night. I've never seen someone smile that hard during a bar routine before. Like, you're supposed to be focused and keeping up with what you're doing, and as soon as she caught her Tkachev, just beaming. But I think my second moment was, just got back from surgery, and I wanted to see them at their meet. I came down on the forward stuff, and I got to watch Megan do a floor routine, compete floor for the first time, to see her accomplish a goal of competing floor, granted it probably wasn't the best circumstances, but to see her have a dream come true and do so good at it, it was inspirational, really.
I loved being a part of this team because they fought an uphill battle all year. We kept waiting for it to get easier. We kept waiting for ourselves to get a break, and we never got one. But nobody complained on this team. Nobody felt sorry for themselves. Everybody just kept asking, what else can I do? What more can I do? And it's just a general fight. I just absolutely loved the fight of this team.
I'm going to remember this year as we were a team of fighters, because there was not one meet that ran smoothly this year. Like, there was something that was going wrong at every meet, and we just managed to work through it.
What I'm taking from this team is that we are an incredible bunch of fighters, and we can rise to adversity. We already know we can.
I think in general, I'm going to look back on this team as the toughest team that could have possibly existed. We tried to fight for every single thing along the way.
The thing that I will remember about this team is how much fun we had together and how much we persevered together as a team, and like whatever obstacles we came across, it didn't faze us because we were a team.
I'm going to remember this team as a group of fighters. I think we're a very strong group, we're close-knit, we love to have fun, and when we're on, we're on. But in the end, we overcame a lot of adversity, and we can carry that into next year.
For now, the team will take some time to get healthy before getting back in the gym this summer to start working towards 2015. That's it for this season of Auburn Gymnastics 360. Thanks for watching. War Eagle.